Mr. Boston. All right. Well, you got the Nike hat. You got the.
No, it's a signed
Oh.
Rory McIlroy.
Oh, Rory. Wow. Where'd you get that one?
Triple F.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. I got an embarrassing story about that. I didn't know. I didn't realize that was a. Oh, boy, do I have an embarrassing story.
Yeah, I'm not a Nike fan, but I'm a Rory fan. So
I'm at Hilton Head with Frankie. And, it's on the 18th hole overlooking the course. And Casey Kerr, the caddy for many golfers. I mean, Fred Couples, Vijay Singh, Arnold Palmer. I mean, he brings Rory over to lunch, his first Hilton Head tournament ever. And he's this thin, and he's with his girlfriend at the time, and it's not the girl he married. And when we got done, I'm sitting right across from him. We got done eating. I said, "Oh, that guy's never gonna make it on tour." Oh boy,
that wasn't a very good prediction.
Yeah, he signed so many things. I have signed stuff. He's actually a really nice kid. He signed a lot of things.
I think he's awesome. I think he's the best thing ever happened in golf.
I actually talked to him.
Honest, he's easy to like. He does charity work. He takes care of his community in Ireland. But he's a straight shooter. He doesn't bullshit. Like,
have you been at any of the PGA Tour stops? There's some over by you too. But have you been to any of them ever? No.
I attempted to go to Las Vegas one, but the kid I was with, his bipolar illness was a bit much, so he couldn't handle it.
Yeah, you should.
It's too boring. But I'd love to go to the Masters if I'd ever get invited. But I'm not in the elite like you. I'm not.
Well,
I'm just a being.
You want to know the God's honest truth? He really is nice to me. What he did to me the last couple of years, it's so hard to get out on the course, and he just gave me his badge. He said, "Hey, go out for 6 hours." So to get to go on the golf course for 6 hours and get to go to the pro shop and get to go to the
but isn't it? I mean, isn't it hard? It's up and down hills. The Masters, like it's a brutal.
It's not hard for me when I spend $200 on one of those little carts.
Yeah, I'd actually like it. It could be good exercise.
Yeah, no, it's really that is a tough court. What is that? Amen Corner over there. Walking over there, man.
Yeah, I'd love to go. I used to be a golf fan, but I think they kind of ruined it, like everything else.
Then they have a hole where they all skip the one. It's good to go on like the most expensive tickets is not. People think it's like Sunday. No, Wednesday tickets a lot more than Sunday. Wednesday's when they're out there having some fun, the program, or Tuesday they're skipping balls across the water.
And they play they play with the kids on Wednesday, the 9-hole thing.
Right, the 9 holes with the kids. Right.
I remember. Rory showed up with the kid from One Direction. It was the only time that no one gave a fuck about Rory. They all wanted what the kids. Niall was on The Voice. Yeah, Niall.
Oh, really?
He was his caddy. This lady tortured the poor kid.
Wow. But, wow.
Yeah, no, he's very, very. They're both very easy to like. It was actually a good pairing.
Yeah, he hold on, I gotta grab that little poochie. He actually is real good with the fans too. People wouldn't think so. Such a big name. He's really good with the fans.
Great. Yeah, he's not like Scotty Scheffler, who sits there fucking moping around the whole course. Never smiles. Totally impersonal.
Interesting.
He's a Bible thumper too, so let him go have fun with this stupid thing. Oh, Mogi, where are you?
Yeah, where's Mogi doing?
Mogi's under my chair.
Oh, okay. Good deal. Yeah, we got a lot of Mogi fans on the show. So, Alan, this is a great question. Wow. Finally a question that I can get involved in here a little bit. And, of course, Alan's going to be better suited for this one. Thank you guys for all your questions too. MHH, you guys tend to talk about the old days with sports books and how they used to take bets. Why is it different today? And why don't they like taking bets? And then there's a part two, which we'll get to in a second. Well, Alan, I don't think you find that you're pretty successful.
Of course I do. I understand that. Of course. Just because I'm not involved, it means I don't understand. The reason they don't take bets is because they don't know what they're doing. That's it. The people running the sports books have no idea what they're doing. So they're incapable of properly taking a bet in. Each game should be its own market for each place, not what Chris is using, not what Pinnacle's using, not what DraftKings is using. Whatever you have for your balance sheet on each game should determine what your market is. And these guys have no understanding of that, and they're taught actually not to work that way. They're using these
big companies,
European model, where you just stay in market, which of course is absolutely ridiculous. So they don't take bets because they don't know what they're doing. That's the answer.
That's part two of the question. He goes, Alan, if you ran a book, what would you do? That's part two. So
I would lower the vig. I would tell everyone to come bet here, and I'd have some. I wouldn't have a big limit. I wouldn't be taking big limits depending on the sport.
That's what he wanted to know.
Limits are determined by how much action you have. Are there enough customers where you could take $5,000 on a college basketball game? Probably not, but you could take $2,000 very easily, which isn't a lot, and go from there. So I would start off taking $2,000 a game, maybe $3,000, and just be willing to move the lines, and maybe even move the lines aggressively, open lines that are different based on what I think the line should be. And if I found people copying me because I open a game 3 and it's 4 everywhere, and all of a sudden everyone's going to 3, I'd start opening phony lines.
That's a giant.
It's just a lack of knowledge. That is 100% it.
Yeah, he asked
you
about
want business. You want people to bet with you. That's how you win. You're getting 11 to 10. If everyone keeps betting, you're eventually gonna, you're not gonna be always balance the sheets. And sometimes there's injuries that cause games to move a lot. You can't be at risk where someone laid 3 and 4 in the game 7 now. You just fucked. But there's still ways to do it. Manipulating money lines. There's ways to balance the books better. But they just don't know what they're doing. And the guys in the old days did. That's really as simple as it is.
That's the first part of the question. Why did guys in the old days? Yeah. Where did they go? And where did they go? They retired, and corporate ways, corporate mentality upstairs, people upstairs that are don't really know 11 to 10 and don't understand the pulse of the business, have made decisions they want to win every day. They will not accept losing days. Would that be fair? Because that is what I'm told by one of the guys in town. He's like,
well, then you know better than me. I just assume they're stupid.
When we have a losing day, I am so fearful of what the bosses upstairs are going to say to me.
Well, that's just stupid, and yeah, that shows they don't know what they're doing. I mean, if you have a 2% edge, if you do the bell curve, you're going to have a lot of losing days.
Yeah,
3% edge, 4% edge.
That reminds me, because that's what he said. He said to me, Bill, when I have hotel operations, retail operations, everyone in these meetings and saying, "Oh, we're up 6%. We make money every day." Sportsbook operations, we only held 1/4% for the week compared to these other places. That's what they're.
The other games are rigged the other games are rigged to win.
That's right. That's right.
Sports aren't. You could open 20 lines and be off 18 on all of them. And the first bet, you're taking the worst of it.
They're rigged to win. That's exactly right. Yeah.
And then if you figure out how to beat them, either by hook or by crook, they throw you out. Like, the whole thing's ridiculous. Like, no one would believe this is land of the free. In the casinos, it's land of the casinos of all the politicians bought and sold, and all the judges are in their back pockets, and no one ever makes a fair ruling. I mean, what happened to Phil Ivey? They completely fucked him over. I don't know how many times. He won fair and square in Atlantic City. He lost in court. Impossible. Right. Yeah. You think they were going to give him his money back if he lost? Like, they completely free-rolled him.
Yeah, I mean, okay, maybe he had an edge, but it doesn't matter. He lost.
Mr. Walters won on roulette at Wynn's property, and Wynn just welched, didn't pay him. Just fucked him over.
So it's funny how yesterday I was talking to him on the phone.
Accuse you of whatever. What difference does it make? He won, pay him.
Speaking of Mr. Walters, it's funny. Yesterday I called you up and we were talking about the Hall of Fame and someone that was in the Hall of Fame, and then we hung up, and Billy called you almost instantly, right? Just coincidentally, he just called you right after. And you guys had a nice conversation, which you could.
Yeah, he was talking about he was saying, we're pushing hard to get you in the Hall of Fame. I said, I really don't give a shit, Mr. Walters, and he got really mad. Well, it ain't right that you're not in, like,
right.
Which I believe is accurate. Like, I'd probably vote me in, and I voted against almost everybody until I retired from it. And I mean, it'll be interesting. If I get in, Spanky will be shaking in his boots when it's my turn to give a speech.
Oh, why? He will?
Oh, I'm sure. And if not, I'll make sure he is.
He
have some fun with this. Like, no one has fun anymore.
Yeah,
Everyone's so
yeah,
fucking
having fun
serious
with it.
about everything. Come on.
Sure. Yeah, that would be fun.
Anyway,
And-
I think the Hall of Fame's flawed, and
yeah.
And
Did you know
all Hall of Fames are? The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's a joke. Like,
that's right.
Like Deep Purple didn't get in for like, I don't know, the quintessential rock and roll band didn't get in until recently.
There's so many people that's not in the. I was like,
Yeah, Procol Harum's not in the Hall. My favorite rock group's not in the Hall of Fame. Procol Harum.
Procol Harum. How come they not be in the Hall of Fame? Yeah, I know. I told you I seen Styx, not your favorite band, but they're not in the Hall of Fame. You said you didn't like them anyway, though.
Styx? I can't stand them.
No good. You said.
That's all right. The Eagles are playing at the Sphere.
I see. I
maybe the worst. Maybe the worst. Maybe my least favorite group is the Eagles.
Wow. And I thought they were great with that country guy. I always forget. I don't know his name.
Vince Gill.
I thought he was a great harmonizer.
He's good. He's a good singer. Yeah.
I've never heard him sing.
I've only heard him minimally, but yeah, he's good.
And I love Joe Walsh. God.
I liked him. I liked him in the James Gang.
There you go. And you'd love to know, one of the biggest sports gamblers in the entertainment industry is Don Henley. Firing. He was firing in his day. Like,
that's good. His music sucked. So
he knows the business. The boys of summer. We're going to have a little difference of opinion with certain things. But I didn't know just now Deep Purple. Is Deep Purple in now?
They're in now, yeah. But I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, who's they are rock and roll. Like, they're the original hard rock band.
Yeah.
I have no idea why they weren't in. I mean, Richie Blackmore, there's probably no one more influential. Maybe Jeff Beck. Actually, I take that back. Yeah. The blues guy, John Mayall.
Okay, so you and I seen Jeff Beck.
He was the one. He's probably the most influential guy ever. He Peter Green. He found Eric Clapton. He found a myriad others too. Like he was the one that brought blues rock to England and started the whole trend, which became the move to America. And anyway.
Yeah, going back to Billy Walters. So you know Carl died. You know Carl, I'm sure.
Of course.
Yeah, Carl died, and
Cabbage passed away.
Cabbage.
His crew is.
Cabbage did. Yeah, I seen someone recently that did not know, that was around us back then. Did not know he worked for Billy, and he didn't know that Cabbage passed away. He didn't know he hasn't been around for years. So I was like, wow. But the reason why I'm bringing up. The reason why I'm bringing this up is, do you know the story behind the roulette with Mr. Walters at Golden Nugget in Atlantic City? Do you know about that? Him playing roulette?
I think it was in the book, maybe, or.
Yeah. Oh, was it? Yeah.
It was in the book. Yeah, but he won a roulette in Vegas too. That's what I just said. Fucking Steve Wynn, the piece of shit, didn't pay him.
Steve Wynn didn't pay him. Most people don't know that. Steve Wynn kept his money. Hey, you're offering a game. I'm on Billy Walters' side there.
Of course, he made a bet. He won. I mean, was he giving the money back if he lost? It's the same thing. They just free roll everybody. These casinos are disgusting, and no one cares. It's like DraftKings and FanDuel. They get every fucking ruling in their favor, and all the rules are rigged for them because they have all the politicians in their pocket. The whole country's like that. People don't understand why I can't stand the government. It's 100% corrupt. All this shit in Minnesota and California, all that fraud, it's just the tip of the iceberg. It's rampant throughout the whole country, and not just Democratic states, Republican states too. They all rob our money and waste it. I should tell you a story, but this is a sports betting show. But I know someone hand in hand that. So I'll make this quick. My friend during COVID, he had an autoimmune disease. He was in the clothing industry his entire life. We're the same age, friends from birth. Our parents walked each other in strollers. So I've known him virtually his whole life. He said, all right, I can't work, but I have connections to China, and everyone seems to want these masks. Long story short, he was keeping me posted. I said, well, good luck with the government. He sent money, letters off to every state. He can sell them masks. He actually had a deal in place with California. I think it was 10 million masks, 35 cents a mask. He was getting them for 28 cents. They were making 7 cents a mask, which isn't a heck of a lot. And, what California finally decided was he had a friend who ran a nonprofit in San Francisco. And they decided to go with him. His son had connections to China. So they bought masks from that guy. The thing is, they paid 65 cents a mask. Same mask. So you can pay 35 cents a mask for 10 million masks, which, by the way, was just the first order, or you could pay 65 cents a mask. And that's our government in a nutshell. They're getting it for the same thing. So there's 38 cents or 37 cents a mask because he's probably getting it for the exact same price. My buddy got it rock bottom. He's been in the industry his whole life. He knows everyone over there. So where do you think that money goes?
Yeah.
And that's it in a nutshell. That's every single department of every single part of the government. Most of the departments we don't need. We don't need a Department of Education. We don't need a fucking monkeypox czar. We don't need an alcohol czar. You know what the alcohol suggests? You should have 2 drinks a week. Well, thank you very fucking much for our 10 million in tax dollars. We don't need Homeland Security. That is for fucking sure. And you can go on and on and on and on and on. We don't need almost any of these things, and they all waste money anyway. The ones that even we need, they waste money anyway. So it's just, the whole thing's just an absolute shit show. And every time they're short, well, we have to raise taxes. No, you have to stop wasting our money. Go find ways to get rid of jobs.
Let's go to
that's the government in a nutshell. You wonder why I can't stand government. That story is 100% fact. This is my oldest and dearest friend keeping me posted nonstop on this mask thing. And I said, well, good luck, you know, because I expected this, but not to that extent. That is just, the deal was in place, 35 cents a mask. No, we're going to go with him. He found out they paid 65 cents a mask.
That's unbelievable.
Nothing serious, right? 30 cents times 10 million, and that was the first order.
Jesus.
Anyway, all right, on we go.
On we go. Nemo, next question. Thank you for this one, Nemo. You listen to the show because you're referring to Alan's previous shows here. Nemo, lighthearted one. Alan said, being sick of playing cards, quote, he'd rather go broke playing slots. Guess what? I enjoy spending some time and money playing slots. Alan, what are your favorite slots to play on the floor? And good luck, my man. Just to have some fun with. What are your favorite things? Like a fun slot. What's it called?
Wolf Run Megabucks. I went on all the time.
Now,
so that's my favorite. It's not my favorite to play, but it's the one I run so good on that game. I hit the mega on it like a month ago, 100 and something spins with three wild things coming down. I did terrible in the bonus, and I hit a major for I mean, I've run so good on that machine, it's crazy. But my favorite actually to play probably is that new triple money ball, because the swings are immense. Like you could just crush that thing.
Is there
three separate money balls you can hit?
Yeah.
There's different bonuses. Yeah, that, and I think Yo-Ho Pig is probably my 2 favorites.
Okay.
Yo-Ho Pig you can get line hits, and the pick a pig bonus is fun. It's yeah.
Would you say, Alan, that's really kind of a closet gambling? I know when I play video poker, I'll overplay a promotion sometimes. You know, they'll come in, get 1,000 in free play or 500 in free play. You know what you should play, and let me just get even or so. I kind of do that, but I know it's easy to overplay. Wouldn't you agree?
I enjoy it. To me, it's like going to a movie and paying for a movie ticket. If I lose $100 playing slots, I don't care.
So you're driving home, you don't
when
get
you
pissed
lose
off.
5,000 that you know, and you don't have any money, that it gets which, you know, I'm not immune to doing that, but I don't really steam much in anything. Like I'm pretty good with that. That doesn't mean I'm not a degenerate. I am, but no, I love slot machines. There's something about sitting there and playing the machine that is very, very calming to me. It's like the world is okay as long as I'm doing this. And you're constantly, you know, I love the sweat, and you're constantly sweating the machine, and yeah. So anyway.
See ya. Oh, here we go. Mogi.
We have a tradition, right?
Yeah, and Mogi knows about it.
Mogi knows about it, yeah.
He's over to his dish. Okay, let's get on to the next guy. Ryan that says, Alan, I have learned a ton from you over the years. Thanks for making me feel less alone in the world. Oh, that's nice, Ryan. I didn't read your question. I'm reading these spontaneously. What are a few college basketball teams you feel are over or underrated? I'll get to the second part of it there. Is there any teams that you feel that are up there that are overrated? To say, why is this team number 5? They don't deserve that, I guess, or the opposite.
I don't know the rankings. as I mentioned last week, I don't think Arizona will win the whole thing, even though they're technically the best team. I think that in the ebb and flow of a season, you know, they've been on this kind of steady rise, and I don't think they can sustain it. Plus, they're kind of young, and young teams by year's end, because of their youth and the physicality of the sport and the nonstop playing, and they're in a tough conference, although they've had a lot of blowouts, so they've had a lot of opportunities to rest. I think they'll crash at some point. So even though they're numero uno by my ratings and probably by, I think they were number one in the country. Yeah, they were undefeated until they lost to Kansas. So I think that they're not going to win. As far as I said, I think Texas Tech is kind of a sneaky team to win the whole thing. Another team that's under the radar is Utah State. They're really, really good. The coach is amazing. But again, the lack of elite athletes, the way they allow them to play in the tournament, typically gets all these teams that aren't Power 5 schools, that don't get the top talent. Where in the old days, you can have a team for 3 or 4 years and the coach can mold this like Butler-esque type team. Brad Stevens didn't have the best talent, but as 5, they played like the best team. And if it wasn't for another block charge that went Duke's way, they probably would have won a title that year. That won't happen anymore. Again, I believe that's what they want. But yeah, I don't think Utah State's underrated by anyone. In fact, I probably have them underrated. But as far as a team that's kind of sneaky, they're sneaky good. I also think UCLA is sneaky good. I think when they get Sky Clark back, and I think Cronin is really, really excellent. And I think that they might surprise people come tournament time. Who else is up there? Oh, you know what? I left Purdue out of the top 11, I think, when I mentioned them last week. They're definitely in the 6th or 7th spot there, Purdue. Although they're playing with their 2 best players aren't 100% and won't be the rest of the year, Kaufman, Wren, and the point guard. So I think their chances of winning have been diminished because of that. It's really a tricky question for me to answer because I don't know who's over. I don't know how teams are rated. You know, I know how I have them rated, and that's all I care about. So sorry, I really can't.
How about the Division I Horizon League? Are you still into those schools that was it Oakland was one of your teams years ago?
Yeah,
right?
Oakland's probably good. Oakland's the best team in that league, and I do hope they win because I love Greg Campy. He's another. If anyone wants to watch what college basketball should be, go search on YouTube the Campy Izzo press conference from around Christmas time, and that's the way the sport should be. Listen to those 2 guys; they actually do the press conference together.
Oh wow!
And have the last many years. And it's tradition. They play each other every year, and Campy and him are close friends, and they've both been coaching for over 40 years. And that's how the sport should be. What they say in that interview is chilling. That's how I remember the game, not this modern greed fest where, thank God, Alabama got ruled against on that kid. I hope they count those games he played in as losses or make them ineligible. That will see how they like trying to fucking cheat their way into the tournament. They were here anyway. They were trying to cheat themselves better. And Oates is disappointed. Fuck you. It's fucking college basketball. It's not let's just go find players and plug them onto the court. Right, in theory, they're going to college to get an education, which is completely opposite what he was doing. Yeah, it's the whole thing's ridiculous.
So the
anyway,
person
sorry, I don't have a better answer.
And the person that asked the question, Ryan, appreciate that, Ryan, former high school basketball coach. This is him. Former high school basketball coach in DC and LA, stats and calculus teacher, Georgetown grad. So that's the guy. Well, he asked 2 questions. So here's the second part of
Georgetown was among the toughest schools to get into when I went there. Of course, that didn't stop Allen Iverson getting in there right from jail. But
all right, this is the second part of Ryan's question. My late uncle used to play poker on his Vegas trips, and I display his old hat from my home. Oh, all right. Oh, I didn't see it. Thank you, Ryan. I thought you'd appreciate his old hat. I'm going to show you it. I get you now. Wow, that is unbelievable. Never get rid of that hat, my man. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Look at that Hold'em hat.
That's in really good shape.
I mean, look at the shape it's in.
That's before my time. That must be really old. I don't remember that hat from. I was there in the early 80s. I don't remember that hat.
Ryan, let me know.
That's what they used to have they used to have the Raz game there.
I'm going to ask him on the DM.
Yeah,
Ryan,
my buddy told it to Stardust.
Oh,
in
okay.
the 70s. He dealt there. And the dealers used to tear a hole in their sleeve. And as they were pushing the pot or taking the cards in, they try to get a chip to slide into the hole. So they have an
Oh,
extra
wow.
chip. Yeah, there was just the place was great.
Man.
Yeah, I wanted to try to fuck everybody over.
Speaking of which, when Atlantic City opened in '77, excuse me, at resorts, you really didn't spend no time there when you were going to, like, what year did you graduate college?
No, it's a rumor.
Oh,
I was there 76 to 80. I was there when Resorts first opened. You couldn't get in. It was jackets required, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Jackets required to get into the casino.
My dad said they used to have to rent them a jacket. If you were getting in without a jacket, they would rent you a jacket.
Yeah, right. I like that.
Yeah.
I like jackets required. I wish it was at dinner. I wish the fancy places would have jacket. Even black tie. I don't even care.
Yeah.
I think it's cool to walk around well dressed. I think that's more appropriate than the world we live in today. But again, that's me. I'm a throwback.
I forgot where I was going with that question. Something with resorts I was just talking about.
Yeah, when it first opened, you asked if I was involved. Yeah, of course I was. You could play basic strategy off the top of the deck and you were a favorite.
That's right. People don't know what Alan's talking about. Off the top of the deck, the first hand should be your biggest bet. That's exactly right. Even if you're counting or not counting, it looks better. You're off the top of the deck. It's absolutely correct.
Well, you were favored off the top of the deck because they had early surrender. Early surrender is like 0.7% or something, or 0.9%. Some insane edge for the player.
Now I know what I was saying. So resorts in Atlantic City's opening up. Well, who do you think they're going to get to run the casino? Vegas guys. So Vegas guys came over the first couple of months, actually the first year. Some stayed, and they gave them real good packages to come over here and run the resorts in Atlantic City. And what happened? I heard that they robbed them blind because they could. Because they had people, you would notice this, it's before my time. People were standing too deep, betting on other people's hands. Now, I don't know how
crazy. It was crazy. You couldn't get near any table.
How can you trust someone else to take? I guess there was a mutual trust among people. You're standing among, my dad said people were over his back, gambling on top of his hand. I was like, what? What do you mean? He goes, yeah, there was no place to gamble. Either you bet with somebody else or you weren't getting a bet in that night. That's how busy it was.
When they first opened, you couldn't get near the place.
Wow. But yeah, I heard those box guys that would sit like this, and they'd have so many mechanic moves and chips going about everywhere inside the fake pockets and fake that. That's what I heard. That's what I heard anyway. I recently heard Meyer Lansky had something to do with that casino too. I never really heard mob-owned casinos until I read something recently about that.
In Atlantic City?
Yeah, I never really heard that he had some interest in. I know the linens and different things like that. They controlled, of course, the unions. You had the Nicky Scarfo era there in Atlantic City. When they were controlling unions and you couldn't get things built without the mob involved. But as far as actually ownership of the casino, I never heard that until recently. Now that you're eating a steak, Ike, Craig the 22 ask Alan if he ever ate at Bob Taylor's Steakhouse in Vegas. I still consider it one of the hidden restaurant gems.
Yes.
And without the heavy price tag.
Several times, and I loved it. Yes.
Now I'm gonna look it up.
It's still there.
Bob,
it's on the end of you used to. There's a road there now, but they used to not even have a road that went out there. It was like a dirt road when I first lived there.
It's 10 miles away. Where's this?
I can't believe you've never been to Bob Taylor's.
It's
place is legendary, man. How the fuck is there a restaurant you haven't been to? Seriously,
here's the strip. Here, this is the strip, guys. Look how far Bob Taylor's is. Way up there.
Yeah, it's out in Rancho, I think.
I'm like yes. Wow.
The place is great. Oh yeah.
Whether you're in Vegas for your anniversary, yeah, this is the little side trip. Wow, and it looks like an old-fashioned, country steakhouse, right? That's what it looks like.
Great. It's great.
Yeah. Wow. So you've been there? Okay, good. You thought it was
cool.
Several times. Well,
I'm shocked you've never been there. We got to go there then. Oh, speaking of which.
Yes.
I'll be flying out March 16th.
We wanted to know the dates.
Get there late, right? So we're going to do some sort of live show meet and greet on either the 18th or the 17th.
Okay. So we're going to film on the 18th at Westgate.
Okay.
Guys, we're going to film at Westgate on the 18th. I'll have the exact time for you by next show. So we're going to film on the 18th, and we figure we'll have we'll take a booth there, or a couple booths, whatever it is. There could be anyone that wants to come out. That's your day, Wednesday, March 18th. That'll be a great day for us, for you guys, and that's the day. Usually Wednesday, we'll film on Wednesdays. I figured that would be good. But you know what, Alan? The more I'm thinking about this, maybe I want to give them a little bit of a heads up for the tournament. So maybe we should film on the 17th, maybe. Only
I don't give a
because only because it'll give people a couple days on video to see your plays and what you about March Madness.
They might not want them after last year.
Yeah, last year, Alan's had some years that have been unbelievable, and then March Madness hit, and he did bad. Opposite way. How about this? Alan's had run out March Madnesses. Why do you think that fluctuate just matters? Like, you've had ridiculous March Madnesses both ways. And do you learn off them? Do you learn anything off last year's, or it's just there is nothing to learn off of?
I don't know if last year was a one-off, or the bets I made typically are in a very good subset of winning. The type of bet I made that I've been doing my whole life. But there was something about last year, and I couldn't really come up with an answer, but my guess is I was betting a lot of these mid-majors these better mid-majors have been gold in the first round. Usually they're just usually a little smarter and sometimes, like, it's not the case. It seems strange, but when you're a big favorite in a game, sometimes it's easy to take the team a little lightly, even in the NCAA tournament. But there was something about this NIL, and my guess is where these mid majors were raked of all the good players, because anyone that was any good got paid to go play for a better team. Now you can replace, maybe 1 through 5 with probably comparable talent or close to it. But I think it was like 6 through 10 that the drop off was so big that these teams just were, either they ran out of gas or they were just overwhelmed when the backups came in. That's my best guess as to, or last year was just an anomaly, and the results just didn't matter because it wasn't a big sample size. But I have a hunch that the benches of these mid majors weren't quite up to what they were, and it was exposed during the tournament. But we'll find out. Like, I'm in a good place with this show right now. Like, I was telling Mr. Walters, like, it's as bad as my start has been. The last month has probably been about as good a month as I've ever had in my life, which at my age and my, my lack of resolve for this as I said, I'm actually proud of it. Like, I think I'm an utter failure because I'm just a fucking sports bettor, but, turning around this year has been very, very rewarding in a lot of ways, because I'm doing something I'm not comfortable with, and I was just dead in the water. But the last month, I mean, you've been getting the plays. They've been, like, you don't track them as closely as I did, but even the games we've lost, I've had the right side of almost all of them. It's fucking crazy. Like, I've had virtually the right side of almost every game. It's impossible. It's impossible to sustain, that's for sure. But you never know. I had a year where I ran out February all through the tournament, barely lost a game from February through the tournament. So I'm hoping that we can maintain that and have some winners in the tournament. But I'll definitely be considering last year's type losses that I had that were just horrible, and onto this year. Like, I was just horrible. Like, I had bad sides. There was no bad luck, just bad sides.
Okay, and
we got that in.
Your wheelhouse has been these small dogs. I'll say 2 to 5 points. Is that always been your wheelhouse of like, we don't? You gave me one game of a 19-point favorite one time this year, and you gave me a couple dogs early, but never dogs again of 20 points or more.
Well, because I learned very quickly that these big dogs early in the year was just throwing money away. Like these teams, because this net ranking thing. So Dayton was up 40 on NC Central, and he put all his scrubs in like you're supposed to. They won by 19, and they lost 2 net ranking points. And they're kind of on the bubble. Not anymore. They've lost like a bunch of games in a row. They're completely off the bubble now. But they were a bubble-ish team at the time. And that winning by 19 instead of 40 could have cost them the tournament. So there's incentive for these coaches to run scores up, which is disgusting and totally against the spirit of the game. Like everything is just backwards.
Right.
So, and in a lot of these pay games, the coaches don't give a fuck about it. They these mid majors, they only care about winning the league. That's all that matters because they're only getting a bid if they win the conference tournament. So a lot of them experiment with stuff, and mail the games in, and it's just it wasn't a good subset betting these big dogs. It was just throwing money away. Unless you thought they could win the game, or it was like way, 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 way off my number. If I made it 16, it probably meant it was 22. If I made it 20, it probably meant 25 or 26 or 27. Like it's just, you had to multiply it by some fraction. And that would be more of a computer type thing based on the total and what I had it. What's the true number if I make it 20? It's not 20, it's some increase of 20. And if the total is high, maybe it even could be 30. Like, I don't know. Because I'm just a guy doing with 3-ring binders and in my head. So yeah, I stopped betting big dogs because they just didn't win. And I don't know why I come up with more dogs than favorites. I can't explain that. Back when I first started, you almost always bet dogs. It was a lot of psychology, and I looked for the more motivated team, which is mostly the dog. So I looked to bet against teams who might be flat. And that, as I talked prior, that kind of fell by the wayside, and it's come back a little bit with the NIL thing, I believe. Teams off big efforts do tend to put in clinkers the next game. But yeah, I don't know why I come up with more dogs.
And have you tracked anything? Have you tracked anything this year?
I don't track anything. I just bet.
No, I meant first halves compared to full game.
I don't track it. I have no idea.
Which we would have been very successful in all the years of betting first halves. It seems like when end of the game, just getting the other night we almost lost the game in overtime. We had a dog. I forget who it was. Like oh god. But
last night the end games were bad.
Yeah.
Really bad. I mean, we didn't lose all of them, but
yeah.
The Furman Mercer got the last 4, and Chattanooga game was a shit show. And
you mentioned
we needed Cal. They lost by 7 in double overtime. That we weren't involved with me and you, but yeah. I like the game tomorrow night.
What's the last thing you said?
I like the game tomorrow night a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But why do you think just coincidence that you run bad with, you said, putting games out on Twitter, telling people on Twitter?
I don't know.
Just bad.
It's bad. Yeah. I literally haven't lost. I didn't lose a game like in 2 weeks, and I tweeted lost. It's just.
Do you want to give them tomorrow night's game or
Princeton?
Princeton, okay.
They're playing Cornell. They're plus 3.5.
Okay.
They just played 2 weeks ago. I think they played on the 30th of January. I want to say and they bombed Cornell. They bet Cornell from like 5 to 7.5, and they were up 20 right away. So why do I like Princeton now? Well, I liked Princeton a lot that night, and that result to me was just a one-off. Like they, maybe Princeton had that's a long travel for from Princeton to Ithaca. That could be a little bit tricky travel, and it just seemed like Princeton had a disaster. They went and won in Columbia the next night. Princeton, last time they were a dog at home, was to Yale, who's better than Cornell, way better than Cornell, and they blew them out. The coach for Princeton is fantastic. Mitch Henderson, one of the best in the country. And I would think that he'll learn a lot from that blowout loss at Cornell. And I think Princeton should be favored, and they're getting 3.5. So
wow.
Yeah.
That's giant. For anyone that doesn't know, like what that Alan is saying is the wrong team's favorite, but not by 1 or 2, by 3.5. So you would even take 2 on the game. Am I correct?
I would take 2, yes.
You would take 2. There
you want to play about, though, if they bet Cornell up to 7.5 and they won by 100, and they did, then even, the home courts are probably 2.5 each tops. So that makes it 2.5. 2.5 for Cornell, 2.5 for Princeton.
Right.
5 for 7.5. So Cornell 2.5 should be approximately the number, but they won by 100. So even Cornell 3 based on that game. But to me,
Right.
that game is the throwout game, and the rest of the season is more relevant. Princeton was beat up to start the year. They lost their point guard. They lost several players. They all came back at some point. They've had several games together, and there's just no way that Cornell can be favored to Princeton. There's no way on this planet Earth. And I probably jinx it by giving it out, but I'm pretty comfortable with
No,
this.
I think we're going to be good with this one.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be. Hey, Alan, you mentioned something to me about YouTube video you posted on Monday. Well, I still don't
yeah.
know what it is. What was that?
So Yale was at Howard,
Okay.
which, if you're not a basketball fan, is kind of an unusual matchup. An Ivy League school going to a MEAC school in the middle of conference. Like, it's just a strange matchup. But I guess they're two good academic schools, and, you know, maybe there's something to that. But one of the cult classics growing up for me was a movie called Putney Swope, which Robert Downey Sr. did. Robert Downey's dad made the movie. It was a satire of racism, really, and a little bit of the advertising agency. And it was late 60s, so racism was actually a thing back then still. Not like today where they just say racist nonstop and it's all bullshit. There's going to be racism because we're human. But it was pretty bad in Boston in the 60s. And then these genius government figured, yeah, let's bus them into each other's neighborhoods. These people hate each other, so we'll just bus them into each other's neighborhoods so they can kill each other. Like, only the government can come up with that fucking nonsense. Like, well, we have to have, no, you don't. You just let it. How about building a school in the middle and letting them join there rather than going into neighborhoods where they hate each other? It's completely asinine. But one of the commercials that was poking fun at the industry was a face-off commercial, which I posted on my Twitter. And the first line in that commercial is, "It started last weekend at the Yale-Howard game." So I saw Yale was playing Howard, and automatically my brain remembered Putney Swope from 1968, which I saw someone recommended me at college. So sometime in the late 70s is when I first saw Putney Swope. A great movie, really, really funny movie. But yeah, so I found the Yale-Howard game and wrote, in honor of Yale playing Howard, I give you this gem from my days. Really clever movie.
Speaking of which movie, I have a question here about California Split. What was it about the movie California Split that Alan liked? This wasn't this person's favorite gambling movie, but he wants to know what. Maybe he has to watch it again. I've only seen it once because of recommendations, which sometimes I have to watch the movie 3 times before I say, wow, that was really good. I think The Irishman, after watching it the 3rd time, I thought it was a really good movie. So
I don't want to give away
okay,
too much of the movie, but even though it stretched the truth at times, the overall vibe of how a degenerate gambler would act and how someone. So Elliot Gould plays the degen who just doesn't give a fuck, is carefree, just does everything on a whim, which, you know, of course would resonate with me. It's kind of how I've been. And George Siegel's this unhappy guy who hates his job and he's separated from his wife. And he kind of lives vicariously through Elliot Gould. He gets caught up in this whole mania, this carefree guy who doesn't give a fuck. And they form a bond like that. And I just thought that the music, they used Phyllis Shotwell was the lounge singer. She was an actual lounge singer in Reno. The music was fantastic. The dialogue was brilliant. The acting was fantastic. And the ending was bang on. And I won't give away the ending, of course, but the last scene of that movie was just it to describe the feeling of being a degenerate gambler and the guy who is new to being involved in that mania of being a degenerate gambler. And I won't say any more than that. The movie, you know, it's all subjective, like different strokes for different folks, but there's barely a weak moment in that movie. And some of the lines are just hysterically funny and written by someone who understands what it's like to be a gambler. Yeah. It was just, it's not my number one movie of all time. My number one movie of all time is Donnie Darko. And number 2 is The Long Goodbye, which is also Elliot Gould and Robert Altman. And number 3 is Boyhood. And Boyhood probably will end up number 1 by the time I'm dead. If I can ever get myself to watch it again, which I can. It's just too it was too impactful on my soul to watch. But anyway, yeah, that's the best I can say. Watch it and remember the last line of the movie, and if that doesn't get you, then we'll discuss it.
So that question came from Jimmy Esposito, who's Professor Esposito, UVA. I think I've talked about him when he's retired professor. His second question is, Mr. Boston, I want to know what you think about Coach John Calipari. What's your opinion of Calipari?
I think I love him as a person.
Oh yeah.
I think he's a straight shooter. He's I'm told by Mr. Walters, actually, he's very charitable. I love how he handled when Pitino was at Louisville and he came back to Kentucky where Pitino used to coach. And he had just gotten that it was just reported about him, maybe his sexual resolve wasn't that great. And Calipari had it all handled before he got there. So the fans weren't going to, he made sure the fans didn't shit on him, like unrelentingly. He had Pitino's back. He's very honest in how his disdain for the NCAA. As a coach, I don't think he's very good. In fact, I think he's borderline terrible. I think he's kind of a used car salesman. But I think he genuinely cares about the kids, and I think he's overall a good dude. But as a coach, I think he's terrible.
Okay. And thank you, Mr. Espo. Big fan of the show, every single show. I know, Mr. Espo. Happy birthday, by the way, Mr. Espo. I think he's 80 today.
Whoa.
Yeah. And
well, I guess he won't be flying out to Vegas for the meet and greet.
Oh, he loves Vegas, loves craps. Loves crap. You can sit at the crap table for 12 hours. And so now, Mr. Espo, just to let you know too, you can comment. I know he probably doesn't have the social media. He would love to comment. He sends me a text and every week about how good the show was, but I'm sure he doesn't have social media. He doesn't know how to comment on the things.
Well, so maybe he'll come up for the NCAA tournament. Maybe you get a cheap room or something.
He loves
I wonder if we can get people cheap rooms. Anyway, the Hilton would do that. It's too busy a week, I guess.
It's a real busy week. It's a real busy week, but I can maybe get something. It's the March Madness that first week, but I can maybe do something if someone wants to come out into the meet and greet. I'll maneuver. I'll maneuver for you.
Okay. Well, I'll just throw that out there just as a maybe.
Yeah.
Not that I think I'm some big fucking attraction, but people.
No.
This show does seem to be resonating in big time with some people, and I fully embrace it, and I'd love to meet everybody and say hello, and hope they're not too disappointed.
This guy would love to meet you. Trust me. I would love for him to come out. Mr. Espo, come out to Vegas like the old days. I'll take care of you. You stay. I'll get you a room for free. You know that.
We'll get Johnny Espo out there so they can have the pair of Espos.
All right. There you go. Let's go into the next one here. All right. Oh wow. This guy is this is a real question. He's asked it multiple weeks. I have to admit it. I haven't asked you this. It's the same guy that asked you the question. I'm guessing you're serious, Mr. Eugene Ripple, because you've asked this a couple times, and I thank you. I meant to ask Alan privately. I'm going to ask him socially here in front of everybody. Hey, Mr. Boston, would you be willing to be staked in some poker tournaments? This is what he asked.
Poker tournaments?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we asked.
I'd be willing? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So,
yeah.
Yeah, there would. How about Mr. Ripple? Maybe there's a senior tournaments at Foxwoods. I'm sure too. I think.
No, it's only. I'm not. The local tournaments are cheap. I'm not going to waste anyone's time.
Oh, really? I thought there would be like a big.
No.
I thought it would be a big.
They used to have big tournaments. They're not. They $300 tournaments, $600 tournaments. I'm not.
Oh, I thought there was like.
I can handle that.
I thought there was like $1 million tournaments there. I didn't even know that.
No, they don't have any $1 million guarantees. Not for a long time.
Wow.
Atlantic City does.
Yeah.
But no, I might be out there for the World Series.
It's very nice. All right, Mr. Ripple, thank you.
And I might be out there for the Bet Bash thing, if I'm in the Hall of Fame, which Mr. Walters is pushing for.
Yeah, Mr. Walters is pushing for that.
Yeah, great.
Chuckism asked a question here. Let's hear more stories of not getting paid. So I actually text him, Alan. I said, getting paid? When did Alan talk about not getting paid? Maybe we did, and I just don't know it. Like
I don't remember talking about not getting paid, but yeah, we were stiffed a couple times.
Yeah, you talked about. on your
One of our
you beat-
movers, one of my movers, and he owed us like 350,000, my group. And I just hold on to it. I don't want to. What am I going to fucking do with it? Like, obviously I had money. It's $350,000, and he got raided by the feds. I was supposed to pick up 100 from him the day he got raided too, or the day after, and he never paid me. That was $350 down the drain. I ate the whole thing because it was my fault not collecting it. So and I never told my partners that I got fucked out of that.
Wow.
To this day, I haven't told them. So if they're
Wow.
listening, you say I saved 117,000 apiece
Wow,
because it was my
you were
fault.
right.
Not collecting the money was my fault. So, and we got stiffed by some office that it was the year the Patriots beat the Rams, a 14-point dog in the Super Bowl. This place was it was the first week we beat them too. They used to move Mr. Walters games like 4 points, and we just bet with both hands, when I liked against it. And of course, we didn't win.
Was that when Charles Thurwanger fucked everybody from Aces Gold Sports Market? That Super Bowl?
It sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I thought, did they have a different name, maybe?
That's his real
They had a
name.
name kind of like that, yeah.
Yeah,
So that was 100. That was 100-something thousand we got fucked out of.
Sports Market. They screwed
And
everyone.
there's other, a lot of people don't pay, which I owe people money. Like I'm not perfect, but when I have it, they'll get paid. That's for fucking sure. So yes, I would definitely be willing to get staked, but we'd have to talk.
Yeah.
It's just I mean, it's no bargain staking anyone in the poker tournament. It's no bargain for the person staking. So, I'd let them know that we don't figure to win. But some people enjoy it. Like I handed pieces out last year to everyone wanted to buy a piece of me. Actually have a good record in tournaments, and I am very good at 7-card stud. So you probably don't have the worst of it in the 7-card stud tournament or in the seniors tournament. I'm probably better than the field there too. But
That's what I think so too. 7-card stud tournaments. For some reason,
there's the seniors and there's the super seniors, the 60 and over.
Yeah.
If nothing else, I'd be the fittest guy in it. We got to get that in.
So your answer is right there, Eugene.
The answer is for sure. Yeah. Like I don't.
Yeah.
It's not a comfortable situation for me, but what someone told me, my friend finished 13th in the World Series of Poker several years ago, and I was helping him out. I was staying up all night every night watching everything. He had never played No Limit. He said, "I'd like your help with No Limit." I said, "I'm not really a No Limit player, but I can think logically and help you in that regard on how to think about a hand. But that's all I can do. I don't know theory or technically how you're supposed to play. I can tell you how I think the best approach is and how I think you should think about poker hands." Well, anyway, he played amazing. He finished 13th. I stayed up all night every night, and he was on the feature table 3 nights in a row, and I told him what everyone was doing and where I thought he might have went wrong and how to think about, and at the end he wanted to throw, he gave me money and like, "No, I don't want any money. You're a friend. Like, what do I care?" And he said, "What would you do in my shoes?" I said, "I'd give you money." He said, "Well, why aren't you allowing me that privilege?" He said, "Do you enjoy giving money?" I said, "Yeah, it's the whole point of it. The whole point of having money is to get rid of it, give it to people." He said, "Well, you're denying me that privilege of enjoying that." All right. He talked me into it. I took it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
if someone wants to offer to stake, I'm never gonna say no. I
Sure.
normally would just auto say no, not anymore. Because if someone might get joy out of doing that, or they might find some entertainment out of it, or I who am I to deprive them of that? And it sounds maybe a little manipulative, but it's not. It's me. Like I don't bullshit. Like that's like I said, I don't give a fuck if I have money. So it's no big deal, if I win a tournament or I don't. It's better to win than not to, but
Right.
But no, that's my honest answer. That I would never deprive anybody. Not anymore. Not at this stage of my life either.
And to answer your Chuck, even in my life, I have been stiffed out of more money than I have. How's that sound? That's because I used to always have to go get accounts and bet and have the sharpest guys in the world involved with, and I would, it's so hard to rely.
Yeah, well,
on
you were juggling how
else.
many, like 100 different accounts?
Forget.
Was
I
yeah.
would start out the season with 250 when I first came to, when I literally 250 back in the year 2000. That was sick. That was sick. Having guys that would give you 10,
It was
20,
after that.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause I was in my first house in 2000. I wasn't in the new home. I was starting to build the new home then.
yeah. No, it's
You still had like 100. You still had like over 100 accounts when we did it because we just replaced them.
Yep.
Anyway.
It was the good old days. All right, Rigo Lamas Racing, and that's his name. Rigo says, I once read about a syndicate who made millions, if not a billion plus, in the early days using computers for horse racing overseas. Any insight into this, or whether that type of success is still in place? Love the show, guys. Well, thank you for that, Rigo. I don't know of any horse racing syndicate that.
Yeah, there was a guy. There was a guy who came up with a program. There was a big article on him in China where they're betting trillions of dollars into these races. And he had his computer set up where he, whatever his model came up with, right on post, he would bet his money because he'd see the exactas paying, whatever exacta was paying what he thought was plus EV, his computer did. He'd bet whatever the amount was. He had it all set up, and he crushed. He won millions and millions. They try to ban him. It's a great article. It's online somewhere, the whole story about it. I have no insight at all into, it's very, very far afield from what I'm comfortable with, but the idea is he came up with a model based on whatever stats he used, where his computer would figure out what every exacta should pay, what every horse should pay to win, and when there was EV as they were going to post, computer would bet the appropriate amount on each exacta.
There's these CAWs,
and he printed
now.
money. He just printed money.
Yeah, there could be there's groups that do it now. The CAWs are trying to get a computer automated. I guess that's what it stands for. Wagering. Yeah, they're trying to.
Yeah, that's exactly what it does. The computer sees the exactas paying 80, it thinks you're paying 68, and it'll bet it down to like $72. And then the computer's right one that's wrong, and you win.
All
Must
right,
be nice.
This is a buddy of mine.
Been doing it pen and paper.
My buddy Rich, Pippy Resch, he lives in Connecticut. Alan mentioned the Ridgefield Playhouse on last week's show. I think he would enjoy the Kate in Old Saybrook as well.
Yeah,
it has similar small town vibe. Could Alan touch upon how he feels certain programs have a floor and ceiling, even with the transfers and new personnel?
Yeah, again, it's a similar vibe to years past, except now it's based on how much NIL money that they can. If money buys talent, then if you have more money, you figure to buy better talent. It doesn't mean you're always going to. You're gonna screw up here and there. And Loyola Chicago is a good example of that, where they spent a lot of money in this team and they've just been a complete debacle. They've had a shit ton of injuries, but they were a disaster to start the year before all the injuries hit. So it's and like I've talked about in the past, some of these coaches are their stuff takes a while to gel. So the floor and ceiling of programs is still limited by how much talent they can accrue. And it's even more limited nowadays because some of these coaches don't have 2 and 3 years to get these guys, like Butler, where 5 would play as 1 better than. It takes a long time when you're less talented to really fine tune some intricate system. And when you're outmanned, you almost have to do it to perfection to have a chance to get your level way up here. And none of these mid majors really have that opportunity. They might have a year where they find some freak freshman like Portland's got a freshman from Australia who's unbelievable. Foxwell, he won the game against Gonzaga, and then they came back and beat Seattle the next game. And they crashed last night as expected, or 2 nights ago, I guess it was. Or was it last night? Yeah, it was last night. Buffalo's got this transfer from Wisconsin, this kid Freitag, who's just fantastic. Some of these smaller schools find gems, so they can maybe get to a little higher rating than you'd expect. But it doesn't figure to last anymore because if they have someone good, they're going to get paid more by a power school. So these mid majors are definitely limited. They'll never have that opportunity to have a player like 5, 6 players for 3 years and create a program like Butler did. The only one that can do that is the Ivies. And obviously the Ivies have, you're not getting into an Ivy League school if you're an idiot. They just don't allow it. They still supposedly care about academics more than anything. That doesn't mean that Yale won't beat someone in the first round of the tournament. They certainly have a good chance to. They're a very, very good team, Yale. But that's the only league, and a little bit of the Patriot League, that where you can create a team from freshman to sophomore to junior, where by the time they're juniors and seniors, they're going to be almost impossible to beat because they don't make mistakes. Even though the talent could be lacking, with a really good coach, and James Jones at Yale he's one of the best coaches in the country. His system works. Whatever he does, no matter who he has here, they play to like a 9. They play to like a lower tier Big Ten level. They beat Akron on neutral this year. That's just a very special win. But yeah, it's still a game for the. It's more a game for the rich now. Whereas in years past, like again, this is repeating myself, the mid-majors had a chance because if players stayed for 2, 3, 4 years, the coaches can create something great out of that. They don't have that opportunity anymore. So if there's a home run year for a mid-major, it's probably going to be a one-off year because all the players are going to, like Robert Morris made the tournament last year. Everyone on the team transferred. You had a whole new team.
Right.
Whereas if he had those players back for another year,
Sure.
and he's a great coach, they would even get better and probably would make the tournament again. Oakland's really good this year. Oakland has a very highly rated team for that conference this year. They're about as good as they were when they beat Kentucky a few years ago in the first round. So, but that won't happen because either the coach gets hired by someone really good, so they lose their coach, and they lose all their players. So yeah,
All right.
it's a game for the rich, and it's rigged for the rich, and I find it all rather disgusting.
We're at an hour here.
And I kind of hope that answered it.
Let's answer one more. Alan, I think we went over this on previous shows, but maybe this person didn't see it. Well, actually, he words it differently, or maybe we didn't go over it. Reed Wilson, fan of the show, follower for years. In his prime handicapping days, did Alan concentrate more on smaller conferences, or did it not matter? This is back in your prime. Were you more concentrated, or you were doing the whole card?
My prime.
Yeah.
My prime's been the last month. Like I
yeah.
can tell you, the last month's been pretty special. I don't brag too often. The last month's been really special. Like I actually bragged to Mr. Walters, something I've never ever done before. Like I've been really good, Mr. Walters. Like, and I'm not looking. He doesn't do college basketball. He's long been done with that. I was just bragging. Like I'm proud. Like I'm proud. I was
Sure.
getting buried at 67 and a half years old and have turned it around. Like, you know, I always treated every game equally because you can bet the same amount in every game. So the only one I gave a little extra credence to is the Ivy League because I went to the Ivy League and I've always, you know, it's kind of a soft spot for me. I will say this though, I'm the only kid that went to Penn who rooted for Princeton. That's our rival.
Right.
So yeah, Pete Carrillo is my hero, the coach of Princeton for all those years, and really the creator of the modern game of basketball was Pete Carrillo. Like a lot of his concepts are used. And now Mitch Henderson, who's just fantastic. And after Carrillo, they had the guy who went up to Holy Cross. How can I forget his name? Jesus. He worked miracles there. And then they had Joe Scott, who's at Air Force, but he's not at Air Force because he got accused of being abusive to players, which he kind of got accused of at Princeton too. And then came Henderson. And why can't I remember the guy who ended up at Holy Cross, who was just a fantastic coach, who was at Princeton? Oh my God, this is just terrible. Anyway, that was the evolution of Princeton basketball, but I've rooted for all of them. They all run forms of Carrillo's offense. Joe Scott ran very pure Carrillo. Henderson's tweaked it quite a bit, but it's still
is he the current coach?
Yeah, Mitch Henderson's the current coach.
No. Dave Paulson, is that the current coach of
Dave Paulson's at Holy Cross now.
Oh, okay, I didn't know if that's the name you were looking for.
No, he was a Bucknell guy. He was actually at a D3 school my friend played against up in Massachusetts. I forget which one. Dave Paulson's very good. I think he was at George Mason too. I think he went Bucknell, George Mason, Holy Cross. He's very good. But
I gotcha.
I think he's more of a mid-major.
No, I didn't know the name you were looking for. I didn't know. I see Bryson Johnson, Ted Rolling. Oh, that's the current coaches. I didn't know the names.
No, it's Bill Carmody.
Oh, there you go. I mean, you got it.
Carmody. That's the guy. That was the guy who got them to great heights. They got completely fucked by the refs, or else they would have been probably Sweet 16 or Elite 8. But they made the Sweet 16 a few years ago. Princeton. They beat 2 teams.
Let's keep it going for tomorrow night. Let's keep talking about Princeton. So there's a game for tomorrow night, guys. Over an hour here. We appreciate you guys liking, subscribing.
We circle back to Princeton. Yep.
Yeah, back to Princeton. And we'll see you guys next week. All right.